Hello and welcome back to Marineford TCG. My name is Joe. Drink of the day is Pocari Sweat. And today, I don't know if this is something that's going to interest very many people, but I wanted to show off my One Piece card game collection. Because obviously I am primarily a player. It's been the same when I was in Pokemon, I primarily play. But it is nice to collect a couple of cards here and there. Everyone likes to collect cards, and one of the first types of cards that I decided I was going to collect was the leaders. I decided to collect all of the alt art leaders. So I didn't want to collect every leader card because there's a bunch of basic ones that don't look very exciting. But I started with just collecting the highest rarity of each leader card. And now I've just kind of transitioned to collecting most of the alt arts. And pretty much just the ones that I like, right? So started off with the starter decks. I do have the gold foils of the Kaido, the Kid, and the Croc. And I've got the super pre-release of the Luffy. Because when I bought these gold foils are actually more expensive than the super pre-releases, I believe. Not really the case anymore, but honestly, I think these look miles better than the super pre-releases. The texturing on like the name and the tags goes super hard. I don't know how well this shows up on camera, by the way. I really can't be bothered to take them all out the binder, but I guess I can show you one or two here and there. We got the Kaido. That's sort of an example of the gold foiling that I was talking about. Pretty cool. And then as we move in, these are the big boys. This is the big boy page. All of OPO1, all of OPO2, and I've got the promo Zoro from whatever that was from, and the promo Whitebeard from the, was it a storage box? It was a storage box or something like that. And yeah, these are really nice, man. They look so good. They're so classic. I'm glad I got these before the prices went doolally. Because some of these, like the Zoro, just look super clean. Look at that. Look at that boy. Such iconic artwork. These manga heads, I think by now they've got a little bit stale. But there's a certain nostalgia with them, right? Especially with the older sets. I don't know, I think it works better for the older sets than it does now. Let me know if you think I'm just being Gen 1er. But I think these look super clean. I think my favourite from set 1 is probably the Zoro. From set 2, I do like the big Whitebeard face. This one's really good. Big fan of this. The huge moustache, man. What a guy. I quite like the promo where he's presenting himself as well. It's quite funny. Moving on, set 3 was a sort of a more controversial set with the black and white style. For me, I initially really disliked these. The more time's gone on, and maybe it's just because we've not got more of these, so they stand out more. I've actually sort of risen to enjoy these a lot more. I still think some of them, like the Kura, are a bit boring. But for example, like the Nami, I think the Ace for me is probably my favourite. I think this just works incredibly well. You can take it out of the sleeve. The texturing's really nice, and just the black and white with red representing the fire. I don't know, for me it works a lot better than like this beige colour representing cutting people. I don't know, that's what Kuro did, right? So I think for some of these leaders, like the Ace, and honestly like Iceberg as well, I think works really well. Others like Kuro and Arlong, not so much. And then we moved on to set 4, with the sort of first iteration of the crew style. Best one of these is easily the VV. I don't think this is a very unpopular opinion. But yeah, the VV looks super clean, man. The whole crew in the background at the time, with the X symbols doing the fist pump when they all departed ways. Very iconic. Very, very iconic. And I know people love this one. It's easily my favourite of these 6. And here we've also got the alt art promo Uta. It's kind of crazy that this card have all got an alt art. And I had a space in the middle, so I put the Don from set 4. I don't know. And this Luffy is miles better than the live action one. All respect to the live action and what they're doing with that, but I think it looks really ugly compared to the anime. I'm not really a fan of at least the art style, but I haven't watched it, and I know people, especially rated season 1 extremely highly, which is quite rare for an anime adaptation, to live action. Most of them come out and people just say, "Oh, it's shit." But I did actually see the One Piece one getting quite a lot of praise, which is really cool to see. Then we moved into one bunch more starter decks. Starter deck 10, one of the best starter decks that we've ever had, honestly. The work that went into that starter deck was so good. The different alt arts, like the alt art 1-cost Nami was beautiful. all three of these leaders are really interesting. Even if Kid was never been that good, all three of these felt super unique, right? The first 5 life, 5k multicolor leader. This was the second 6k leader, right? Only after Whitebeard. And then Laurel was Giga Broken. Couple more starter decks, a bunch of Rainbow Luffys, and then we moved into set 5. And it's kind of crazy looking at like this bottom row, right? All three of these two have sound loaders associated with them. And then Sakazuki obviously got banned and got this reissue. Very funny now that he's been unbanned. This is horrible. Now that he's back, this has got to be up there for one of the worst leaders in the game. Or at least most pointless leaders in the game. Because you can just play the good one now. And even he's not even that good anymore. He's pretty bad, in all honesty. But yeah, these sound loader ones are pretty clean. I think my favourite art from this set, it is probably Sakazuki. Definitely a little bit of bias here from myself, but I do think this one, it just looks really good. It just looks really good, and definitely good memories associated with playing the deck. I think he's a lot of fun anyway. Shout out to the Enel though, for being this sound loader Enel. Miles better than the base art in my opinion. Really like this one. I think the base art, the faces are fine, but this art of him like doing a move, it's so much cooler. The Luffy I'm not as crazy about. I don't know, I could take either one of these. Next we moved on to set 6, and set 6 was a banger. All 6 of these leaders, maybe, well, I take it back. 4 of these leaders were pretty good on release. Perona and Moria saw a good amount of success already. Reiju's been kind of evergreen. You can always play Reiju. And then Yamato's had their moments in the sun. Holy Jones, I think, is a really cool design for a leader. And Uta, we don't talk about Uta. I think my favourite of these is probably the Moria. I really like the way that this one looks. Also, probably a bit of bias, because I did enjoy playing this deck. But I just like the big face. I think it works really well for Moria. The shadow shading. Because obviously he's the shadow guy. So for me, the shading just works really nicely. We also got EBO 1. Not many in here. Odin was alright. These other two are pretty horrific. And I will say I think the Odin also looks best. The Kyros is nice. With Rebecca and... what's her mum called? Scarlet. That's the one. But... yeah, the Odin with all the samurai in the background. This is easily the best of these three. Who's your favourite samurai? I like Kinemon. I do like Kinemon. But shout out to Ashura Doji. Thought he was really cool in the show. I did enjoy Ashura. And then we got the big one, ST13, the second of those big 3 leader boxes. This one equally as good as ST10, right? BY Luffy was format. One of the, would you say format defining? I don't think that's unfair to say. For a long time, Sabo's always been a really cool rogue deck. Never quite been that good, but really fun to play. And Ace has always been the least loved brother, but I have been seeing a little bit of excitement for Ace as we look into OP15. And if you would like to see an Ace video, Nightingale TCG put up one up. I don't know when at the time of this video. I don't know when this video is going live, but at the time of recording, it was like yesterday or today. But yeah, check out Nightingale TCG if you want to see some Blue Yellow Ace gameplay. Of these 9, and these bottom 3 were for winning the OP13? 11. I don't know. A pre-release. I won a pre-release. And I got these leaders. Epic. I think of these 9, my favourite is... I don't know, it's probably this one, honestly. I'm not a BY Luffy fanboy. I've not got no nostalgia for this deck at all. But I think the card just looks really well. The gold glints with the black colour. I don't know, like, this Sabo and Ace don't scream red and blue. Whereas this screams black-yellow, right? Because the back is black and the gold is basically yellow. I don't know, I like this one the most out of the 9. Then we moved into OP07. And here's a fun little side note. All the ones you see in coloured sleeves, as opposed to transparent sleeves, are decks I have built. I simply couldn't be bothered to re-sleeve them in transparent sleeves. So you can kind of tell what decks I've got built at the moment. There's a fun one. OP07 was the return of the crew style. I think these, compared to OP04, I think in general they're better. I don't think any of them are quite as good as the VV. But other than, honestly, like Lucci, I think all of these are really nice. I especially do like the Foxy with his penis out. You can see it. Slightly concerning. And Vegapunk with all the Vegapunks in the background is also a favourite. Of the two, I think the Vegapunk is my favourite. Just the colours really pop on this one. Colours absolutely pop. And all the gang in the background, they all look so happy to be there. I'm loving it. Then we move over here to OP08. And this was probably one of the weakest sets we'd had in a while in terms of leaders. Marco was pretty decent for a while. Calgara's having a bit of a glow up now, and he has been good in the past as well. Carrot has had infinite buffs and is still bad. Putting on launch, man. I have some memories of putting on launch. This was possibly the most boring deck of all time on launch. Not anymore. Not anymore. Pudding Fan Club, don't come at me. I think she's actually quite fun at the minute. With the 2-cat combo and the 7-cost pudding. But on launch, my god, that deck was awful to play. Just not fun at all. King, Mr. Potential Man. And I think my favourite art is the Chopper. In doing the fake hiding. Very, very iconic. And I also like that there's a lot more of him showing than just his head, right? And I know he's small, right? But yeah, I really dig this one. This one looks super clean. I also like how there's just no texturing on the hat. It's kind of funny. And then to complete this page, along the bottom, we have OP09. Shanks, my boy. My boy. Probably my most played deck of all time. It's kind of mad because you just play Ben Beckman on 7 and then go from there. It was a curve-out deck, but it was good fun. He's fell off. He's pretty unplayable at the minute, in my opinion. But this was one of the best sets, right? Like, Shanks was great on launch. Buggy took a little bit, but he did become really good. Purple Black's had its time in the sun. Blackbeard was one of the best decks at a point. Lim has been really, really powerful as well. It's only really Robin that I would say has not been sort of tier 1 or 2. But she's a cool leader as well. And I think it was a bit disappointing, the art on this one. I was hoping for something a bit more exciting for Robin. But of these 6, I think my favourite is Blackbeard. Despise the deck. Utterly boring to play against. But look at this guy. This art is so good, man. It's so fire. It's so fire. The missing teeth, the freaking laugh. The fact that his hand is here doing a move. I really dig this one. But honestly, I think most of these are pretty good picks, if they were your favourite art of any of these. Then we moved into OP10, or OP10, excuse me, which was, again, a bit of an underwhelming set. You had Sugar and Caesar, which were terrible. And some of these decks have gained bits and bobs from the later sets, which really helped them out. This also is possibly my least favourite set in terms of art of all time. I think the kid, I like the style, but his face just looks like a troll face. Not a huge fan of that. Law has duck lips, which for me kind of ruins an otherwise really nice artwork. But Caesar and Smoker are boring. These are boring ass artwork. So Caesar's was way too dark. And I don't know, the Smoker just doesn't look like a leader. This looks like a character card to me. I think of these, my favourite is either Sugar or Usopp, but I think I'm going to go with Usopp. The beast crocodile, whatever this is, on the right, and the big Usopp head. This just strikes me as something quite different compared to a lot of alt art leaders. I don't know, there's not a lot that look like this. It almost looks like something out of a comic, right? I know none of this is a manga, but you got the big Usopp head flying through the sky up there in the top right. This one is fire. This is a really good alt art from an otherwise quite mid set. And speaking of Usopp, he did also get this promo art, which might even be better. This is the iconic moment, right? The follow me and I will guide you. And this came with a playmat. It was the Nami and Zeus playmat, right? No, that came with the Zeus. This came with, was it the? It was a Nami playmat. Oh, it was like the retro style one. Like the retro, it looks kind of like retro American art style. But yeah, I really like this Usopp. Very, very nice. We've also got PRB1, which had Sanji in it. Nothing much to say about him. And then we moved into with the ZBO2 with the GP. This is I don't know, this leader does look good. Don't get me wrong, but I think this is possibly the most overpriced leader of all time. Like, the pull rates are bad, but they're not that bad. Even if it's 1 in 2 cases, that's not much worse than any other individual leader. Because, like, let's take Kobe. 6 leaders in his set, you get 4 of them in a case. That means to pull Kobe, he is 1 in every 1.5 cases. So if, and I've seen the pull rates of Luffy be sort of up for debate. Some people say it's like 1 in every 2 cases. I've seen 1 in every 1.5 cases. I don't know. I know you don't get it in every case though. But yeah, this is crazy overpriced. I also have the Borussia Dortmund Luffy. This was really cheap on launch in the UK. So it was cool to be able to pick this up relatively cheaply. And then I do have the PSA Boa as well. This one, I don't know. I kind of prefer the original Boa. And while we're on the topic of PSA cards, I got the PSA Luffy here. This one looks miles better than the Boa. It's not even close. It's so much better. And I have this in a 9 because it was cheaper than buying it raw. Basically, I do not like grading cards. It's not for me. Yeah, they're awkward to store. They're awkward to view. Showing them to your friends, just if you want to sort of, you know, have a look at each other's collections. It's more effort. And also, you can't play with them. Like, I can't play with this. Why would I want it in a plastic coffin? I don't get grading unless your sole prerogative with your cards is just reselling them. But at that point, I don't know what I'm doing, really. Maybe if I got, like, a red manga, I'd grade it to resell. But with normal value cards, I don't get it. Anyway, OP11 came out and was, again, a massive set, right? UP Luffy was the big boy of this set. Nami's been really good lately, especially in heroines. There are a couple of stinkers. Jinbei is still terrible. But Kobe also looks to be getting a bit of a glow up. Of these 6... I think my favourite's probably the Katakuri. I don't know if that's a rogue pick. I know a lot of people will say Luffy. But I just like the way he looks, right? With, like, the veins popping on his forehead. This looks really clean to me. I like this Katakuri. And I'm excited for what his starter deck brings when that comes out. Next up, I've got a bunch of promo stuff over here. This is from the 2nd anniversary English collection. I don't know if I have a favourite of these. These are all very similar. They're all a bit dark. Like, I like the crew shots. I just wish they were a bit brighter. And there'll be one like that in a minute that we'll talk about. Although you could bring up this one for sure. This is a brighter crew shot. And they're actually doing something as well, right? They're going to raid on Onigashima, which is really cool. I think these... It's a shame they're not a little bit brighter, but they're still really cool cards. Then the starter deck started just having white leaders. We got that in OP13, or ST13, excuse me, over here. And then ST14 just didn't have an alt-art leader. And then when we got to the next starter decks, I think this was the next ones anyway, because we had the wave of 6, they've just gone to white. The white leaders, they're okay. I think some of them are better than others. I do like this Luffy, actually, quite a lot. Ace and Nugate, we got the Learn to Play deck as well. That was a cool product. I hope a lot of people bought that if they were trying to get into the game. I recommended that to a lot of people, I think. It's a really fun way for you and a friend to just sort of learn the basics of how to play the game, right? And there was some good cards in there as well, especially the Zoro deck. The Zoro deck especially was really good. These 3 exclusive arts are also really nice and actually sell for quite a lot on the resale market. So even when you bought one of those and you played it, you learned how to play, you still had these 3 leaders that you could sell to buy some new cards to upgrade your decks, which was cool. OP12 came out next, and we got this new style with just like the character. It was the student and the master, right? That was the set, student and the master. So you got the student and the master, or the other way around. It's kind of weird how they don't really have a set pattern. Like, for example, Rosinante was the master and Law was the student, right? But then in the other one, Kuzam was the student and Garp was the master. They didn't seem to pick one. But either way, I think these all honestly look really nice. I think everyone's going to have different favourites of these. For me, it's probably the Sanji. I really think this one looks clean. The colours just pop. The red suit, Big Zeph with the yellow beard and moustache, and Sanji yellow hair, the blue sky. This just looks super clean to me. I don't know. Let me know which is your favourite from this one in particular. Because I think all 6 of these are pretty fine. This is one of my favourite styles. For sure. Now this one. This is, I think, possibly the most expensive leader I have. It's crazy. I paid through the nose for this because I wasn't able to go to the event. Couldn't get the time off work. But yeah, this is nice. This is nice. This is probably my favourite of the Nami leaders. But it's not worth the price that people are paying. I only bought this just because, I don't know, out of some kind of obligation to buy it because I've collected all the others. Pretty much all of the others. There are a couple missing that we'll discuss at the end, I suppose. But yeah, this is really nice. And also, promo Nami. Rip old Nami. Never forget. Down here, a few more promos. This is the other one that I was going to talk about. This is a really nice crew shot. It's the PSA Shanks. Came with PSA magazine. This is, in my opinion, much, much nicer than the Anniversary Shanks leader. I just like how much brighter it is, right? They're on a sunny day, the boys hanging out. Lucky Roo over here got some meat. To me, that just looks, I don't know, I like seeing the characters having fun, not necessarily just looking menacing. OP13 was another banger. The best of these, it is Emu. It's Emu or Roger. Roger's very iconic as well. But I really like Emu. The almost complete lack of texturing across the card isn't something I thought I would ever like, but it actually goes super hard with this full art. And in general, I think these are all good. The Sabo does iconically look quite similar to this Sabo over here. They do look quite similar. It's like the bro got a toothpick meme. And Bonnie looks awful. I don't like seeing Bonnie this sad. I know she was on Egghead, right? Spoilers, I suppose. But yeah, I don't know. It doesn't look great to me. Vivi's clean though. Vivi's clean, even if her forehead is a bit big. And then finally, the most recent set to come out, other than Vivi over here, is OP14 Warlords. These all, again, we're going manga faces again. I would like to see slightly less of the manga faces. I love them, but it can feel a bit boring, like, right? OP11 was just big heads. I don't know these aren't necessarily manga arts, but big heads in OP11. We had a break in OP12. OP13, we got big heads. OP14, we got big heads. I think of these, my favourite is the Dofi, because he's actually doing something. He's got his hand up, right, pulling the strings. I think this one looks clean. And these do look good. Don't get me wrong, these do look good. They look better than some of the other manga heads or big faces sets. But I still like when they get a bit more experimental with the leaders. I think overall my favourite set for them is probably OP12, which I don't know if that's going to be a popular pick for favourite main set in terms of leaders. And my favourite leader overall, I don't know. That's a tough call. That's a tough call. The Sanji's up there. So is the PSA Shanks. So is the PSA Shanks. I don't know. I'd probably go with one of those two. I'd probably go with one of those two. Maybe we'll just say Shanks. Because he's my boy. So what am I missing? I'm missing Dodger's Luffy, and I'm never going to buy that. It's way too expensive. The fact that it's untextured is really disappointing. And it looks good, but I don't know. The lack of texture was a real disappointment for me. I'm missing the Zoro playmat promo. That one is coming. My LGS unfortunately didn't get their stock of the Zoro playmats, so I wasn't able to pick that one up, which was a bit of a bummer. But it is what it is. We move. And then, what else am I missing? Any Japanese ones, I'm hoping to pick those up when I go to Japan. As of this video going up, I'm probably there right now, which is quite exciting. If I manage to pick any up, I'll let you know in the comments. I really want to pick up the eye-popping ones, like the Enel meme face. That looks like a really good set. I'm hoping to get those. And I think that's it. There might be the odd... Oh, cereals. I'm never buying cereals. Maybe if I can find a Japanese cereal Zoro for a somewhat reasonable price, I might pick one up when I'm out there. But I'm never getting the cereal Luffy. It's too expensive. Anyway, that's my leader collection. And the other collection I have, which we'll go through much quicker, is my Navy collection. I'm not going to pick any of these out. We'll just blitz through this pretty quick. But yeah, first page is all SPs. Side note, why does Tashigi have 3 SPs and another one coming in OP15? She has more SPs than the majority of the Straw Hats, which is wild, right? She doesn't even have a leader, and she has 3.5 SPs. Insane. My favourite SP is probably the Kuzan. The Kuzan, we'll pull this one out, because I think this one does look good. I think this is... How did it come out? What's this sleeve doing? No, this sleeve is tucked in. Grr, don't like these sleeves. But yeah, that's the Kuzan. Show you up close. I think the black just works really well for this style in particular of SP. The other ones are nice. I do like the Sakazuki with the pattern, the flower pattern in the background. That's really clean. And Borsalino eating the ramen is probably a close second to the Kuzan. I don't know. I just like seeing him. He looks like he's having a good time, having some W eats. It just looks really nice. Moving on, we've got a page over here of the original Admirals cards. Sakazuki, Kuzan, and Borsalino. The original alts, the PRB alts, and we've got some boys up here. Chinese Treasure Rare Sengoku, pretty cool. Favorite, I really like this Kuzan. This is one of my favorite arts of all time. But we're not going to dwell on it. Got a winner page here. A lot of these I bought. Yes, Stolen Valor. What a time to be alive. But some of these I won. Some of them. Certainly not this one. I wasn't playing back then. And then this is my Don page. There's a Sakazuki here. Don't mind him. But yeah, Don's. I need to get the gold Rosnante Don. That's what I need to pick up. Probably going to get the Japanese version. And I actually have 5 of the Sakazuki Don, because I use half a playset as my Don playset. This page is events. We've got the manga, Altar, S. It's not manga, but they've got manga panels, right? Hody Jones. Honesty Impact. Kobe. Shame this card's not a little bit better, but does look really good. Ice Age, one of the best of all time. The best cards, best arts, and Houndblaze 2 go super hard. Shame we didn't get a full art of Amano Murakumo, but I do have the textured versions at least. And then the rest of these are kind of just random pages of Navy alt arts. This is the 10th SP Navy we currently have, Rosnante. Couldn't fit them all on one page, so I decided to put him with the other Rosnantes. Page of one drops. Most of these are searchers. None of these particularly exciting. I do like the Treasure Rare Rosnante though, over here. Then this page, again, this is kind of just random stuff. A lot of 2 drops on this page, some other stuff. This Sentomaru is sick. I like this with him, with the whole Pacifista gang. And the Peach from Moko Toshigi is a classic. Really nice artwork. Then this page, I don't think this page is anything at all. This is just random stuff. And then this is my sword page. A lot of these you'll see are sleeved because they come straight out of Kobe. I couldn't be bothered to put them anywhere else. And on the last page again, just some random alt arts. Got some smokers. I like this pair where you put them together and they make the big picture. I think that's really cool. And this is Igawa, right? Yes, I thought so. This is Igawa. This is one of the best arts in Navy, in my opinion. The Kuzan for sure. Well, that's about it in terms of cards. I do have a sealed collection as well, but I am actually currently selling that. Call me a scalper. Didn't buy it with the intent to sell. I've got 1 box of each set, but it's becoming more and more like expensive to get extra boxes of the sets. And yeah, I don't know. The price on the boxes is just so crazy at the minute that I've decided to sell them. I'm still going to keep up with my Navy collection. Still going to keep up with the alt-art leaders. That's more than enough to collect for now. Let me know in the comments, what do you collect? Do you collect leaders? I know a lot of people do. I think they're a good thing to collect, right? So then if later down the line, I want to play, let's say I want to play an Usopp deck. Well, I've got 2 alt-arts to choose from. What a time to be alive. Let me know your favourite leader in the comments as well. Thank you for watching and hope you have a lovely rest of your day.